Thanks, Gravani. The SAFM Market Update with MoneyWeb is brought to you by the Right Choice Investment from Discovery Invest. Now, you can invest with the benefit of hindsight so that success is inevitable. Well, it was another volatile day for the markets, with the all-share trading below 20,000 for much of the day, actually. Financials and gold in particular took a beating, and there was a lot of red on the markets after what looked like a potentially positive start. We're going to be chatting to RMB Asset Management's Wayne McCurry about all of that, as well as the rand, which remains above 10 to the dollar. And speaking of the weak rand, we chat to independent construction analyst Mark Ingham about what that means for the country's infrastructure program. We also chat to Peter Major, our regular Friday market commentator, about platinum and gold and what that means for the gold and platinum producers. And then Goldfields CEO Nick Holland brings us up to speed with the developments at its two biggest mines, which reopened today. All of that and more coming up after the news. And here's Chris Buchanan with the business headlines.
Marianne Roberts says infrastructure spending to happen regardless. ArcelorMittal Saldanha plant operating below capacity. Goldfields' Driefontein and Kloof mines reopened. And Woolworths continues talks with its union only on Monday. Well, the JSE overall index up 0.25% to 20,139. Gold at $780 a fine ounce. A barrel of Brent at $67. The rand at 10 rand 10 to the dollar, 17.45 to the pound, and 13 rand 61 to the euro.
This market report is brought to you by DBX Trackers. Because you won't need to use your offshore allowance, it's the easiest way for South Africans to invest offshore.
Well, Wayne McCurry is our market watcher tonight, and he's from RMB Asset Management. Wayne, another relatively volatile day on the markets, and we were trading. I was looking. The last time we closed below 20,000 was somewhere in 2006.
Yeah, a long time ago.
It's been a while.
It's a long time ago. Of course, we just sneaked above 20,000. Although the number 20,000 is completely irrelevant, but we did close above 20,000. But really powered. The market started off very badly this morning. But the little bit of green we're seeing on the screen now, in essence, is three shares. Anglo's up 9%, Billiton up 7%, and Sasol up 7%. There were quite a few other shares down heavily. I mean,
Old Mutual down 14%.
Look, Old Mutual is the one company that has true direct exposure to this subprime crisis. They've got those US operations. They wrote, I don't know how many put options on the Japanese stock market. And I mean, that thing hasn't gone up.
You don't want to be doing that.
You do not want to be doing that. So they are the one company that have got serious direct problems with the subprime crisis. And I wouldn't be surprised if the group is restructured at all. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they sell off the US operations or do something else different. But
we'll have to wait and see about that.
We'll have to see about that. I mean, the platinum shares down 6%, gold down 6%. I mean, the gold price itself is falling quite dramatically.
Why is that important? Why is that
very important that in an economic downturn as we're experiencing now, or recession, whatever you want to call it, commodity prices should fall. You know, oil has halved, platinum's halved, etc., etc. Gold 3 weeks ago, a month ago, shot up that $100 overnight. Now that's a clear sign of panic in the system. In other words, this gold price falling as it should means that maybe the levels of panicking is starting to diminish a little bit, because it's very important for listeners to understand that the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks, don't try and even find any logic whatsoever. This is just sheer panic. It's not even a bear market. It's just panic. People are just selling anything at any price.
Just to find some sort of cash.
Whatever, just to get it out. So don't think the rand collapsing has got anything to do with South Africa or our politics or our economic outlook. It's sheer panic. So I suppose that when the panic's over, the gold price should fall. The rand should in fact strengthen, because the last weakness, the weakness from, let's say, 8 to 10 or 10.50 is complete craziness. It's just sheer panic. And the most important of all, the London interbank rate has got to fall.
And that's, that's the rate that banks lend to each other.
Yeah. And it's gone so high now because there's no money. No one wants to lend. So to try and find any money in the system, you're paying 5 or 6% above the official, let's say, the federal funds rate. The Fed funds rate is what, 1.5%? Yeah, you're paying 6-7% to try and raise money. If that turns over and falls, then the worst of the financial crisis is over. Of course, the economic effect of this crisis will be felt for a good couple of years to come. But so far, we only have a crisis in the financial system. We haven't yet got an economic crisis. So far, the economy is just slowing down like it has, 20 times before. There's no economic crisis yet, but of course the financial crisis must be sorted.
Why would financials be down as strongly as it is? Is that inflation fears or
Inflation story. Remember, up until the rand collapsed literally 2 weeks ago, the conventional wisdom, and certainly one that I thought would happen, was inflation would fall, interest rates would fall next year, good for banks. The rand at 10, interest rates are not going to fall. If the rand stays at 10, interest rates are not falling. Therefore, we've seen the banks and other related credit retailers, etc., all falling.
we can be chatting about that and also construction just after this.